Okay, well, we're going back to City Council, where members, along with Mayor Hancock, held their first of 6 community meetings regarding the proposed minimum wage hike. The raise for an estimated 100,000 Denver workers is expected to pass, but there are still questions, especially from restaurants, about tipped employees. Natasha, do you see this passing?
I think it has a very good chance, and that's because outside of just the question about wages, there's a larger question about growth in this city, and everyone knows this. The city has grown incredibly, the metro area has grown incredibly, the cost of living has gone up, and wages in many areas have not followed that same amount of increase. So in some ways that this is a conversation that needs to happen. What I think is interesting is as these conversations are happening in the community, we're also having conversations about other things that need to be discussed. Equity, inclusiveness. It's been brought up several times that this increase would affect women and people of color in particular, and that would create some equity in the workspace. So those are all important conversations that I think are just going to get more and more intensified as this conversation proceeds.
Krista, what do you see happening in Denver on this?
Well, you know what, I would think it would be a mistake to do it. And I say this as somebody who used to work for minimum wage. It is a great starting point in one's life. The fact is that we could kick out that first rung of the ladder with policies like this. The Congressional Budget Office just published a paper saying that when cities, states raise the minimum wage, or the feds were to raise the minimum wage, you will see people lose jobs, and that's the concern. Yes, some people will see a little bit more money in their paycheck. Other people are going to lose hours, and they're going to lose jobs. Also think about small businesses where those margins are very small. You could have businesses going belly up. And also, at some point, people are going to say, do I really want to spend $10 for a cup of coffee? At some point, you also see people walking away from businesses. So I think they need to balance those concerns and also realize that there are other ways to help people move up the economic ladder. Don't kick out the first rung. Instead, strengthen the next couple of rungs to encourage people to seek jobs, whether it's in the trades or going back to college, where they can make more money through the market.
Well, I know restaurants are particularly concerned because they didn't get a chance to work with the legislature on the tip credit, which is the big issue for them on how it affects minimum wage. David, do you think Hancock moved too quickly on this?
No, this is a genius move to help solve the affordable housing problem. As Krista said, the effect of a minimum wage increase is, say you're actually worth $12 an hour in what you can do. Well, you might get a raise with the new minimum wage, or they might just get rid of your job, and there will be some of each, as we know from everywhere else. So a lot of low-skilled workers lose their jobs. Small businesses that can't afford to pay people more than their actual productive value, they close down, they leave the city too. Now, so you've got low-skilled workers and small business leaving the city. That reduces the pressure on housing. So we get rid of the less wealthy people and don't have so much of an affordable housing problem. It's a brilliant move by the mayor and the council.
Well, and that's certainly a silver lining. Eric, could you tarnish that for us?
I don't know if I can tarnish that or not. I've disagreed with Krista and David on other issues on this show. I largely agree on this one. This goes under the heading to me of good intentions and bad/unintended consequences. Yes, wages will go up for some. Number of hours that they are given to work may well go down. Robotics and the increasing use of robotics in service industries will likely go up, as it has in other cities, Seattle and others that have done this with the minimum wage. The cost of goods and services for consumers will likely go up. So, it's good intentions. No one argues that people don't have the best intentions at heart and in mind, but you have to consider the consequences, and I think the consequences of this will outweigh any good that it does.
Well, and certainly while Dominic's gone, we can vote ourselves a raise at this table.
Maybe 100% raise.
Yeah, 200%.